lines, all right? So folks, are you ready? Clap and scream and get up on your feet for the one and only Chris Hardwick!
How's everyone doing? That didn't work the first time. Give me another cheer. New York Comic Con, Walking Dead panel, Madison Square Garden, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. All right. Thank you for liking my show. I just want to, there's a lot of great stuff. We have a lot of people here that you're going to want to see. Thank you so much for coming as part of New York Comic Con 2016. I just want to start on a weird personal note. I hope that's okay. 13 years ago today, I quit drinking. Points! Now, you might call me a quitter, but I made that decision 13 years ago. It was the best decision I ever made, and now, because of that, here I am in Madison Square Garden with the greatest show on television, with the greatest community of fans. So, I'm just saying, if you're on the fence or you need help, you can turn your life around. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. I love you too. So this is probably the biggest year coming up, the premiere coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's so big and so anticipated. Literally all summer long, people are like, "Who did Negan kill?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because I'm a bad liar, and you'd get it out of me if I knew. So it's for both of our protection. But this premiere is so big that we are doing Talking Dead live from Hollywood Forever Cemetery for 2,000 fans in a couple of weeks. If you go to TalkingDeadSweeps.com, you can find out maybe how you can come to that. So, October 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, Walking Dead. Everyone will be there. Hopefully you guys will be there too, so let's get on with it. I'm going to bring everyone out now. We'll have time for a few questions near the end, and thank you so much for your patience. So let's begin. Showrunner and executive producer, Scott M. Gimple! Some cast members. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Young! Lauren Cohen! Sonequa Martin-Green! Austin Nichols! Danai Gurira! Melissa McBride! Jeffrey D. Morgan! And, ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus! Welcome. Hey, everyone. So many people.
I think the first thing is it really is a larger world. There are new worlds we're going to be exploring with new characters. Obviously, Ezekiel and Shiva being two of them. You know, we've had it, even though the show has been a big show, it's essentially been contained. You know, we had the Atlanta season, we had the farm season, we've, you know, had the prison, you know, Woodbury, you name it. Well, now we have a Walking Dead universe thanks to Mr. Kirkman.
Yeah! Because Rick was making a lot of really bold decisions last season, thinking like, oh yeah, we got it, and then they don't got it near the end. But oops, yeah.
I think that I think that Rick got a little overconfident.
AMC's going to give you guys a full look back from the beginning of The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead journey so far is going to air Sunday, October 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have a quick clip we're going to show you, just so you know, so you can catch up and you remember or bring people on board who maybe weren't yet. So let's take a quick look at this clip and then we'll get back to the panel. Roll. Hey Seth, how's it going? Welcome.
Should we start over now?
Yeah, we got everyone go back out. We'll reintroduce everybody. Come back out. You saw Andy Lincoln in the video. Unfortunately, Andy could not be here, but I believe he sent a message through Norman. Is this true, Norman Reedus?
All right. Dear New York Comic Con.
No, do the soft British accent.
This is Andrew Lincoln here. I've occupied Norman Reedus for the next few minutes. I am inside his mind. I am truly sorry not to be with you all today, but to make up for it, Normski has promised to read word for word this message on my behalf. Here we go. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Andrew Lincoln for all the pain and humiliation I caused him over the years. The chicken in his trailer was juvenile. The ongoing glitter war was ill-judged. And consistently not knowing any new characters' names or plot lines that Daryl Dixon doesn't happen to be in is quite simply unprofessional. I admire him deeply. I secretly wish I was him. When he's not here, I miss him. I really do. Don't skip this beat. I'll know if you do because Steven has a copy of this message.
He's a remarkable man. You better say this, Stephen, because Cutlets has a copy of this message as well.
True saint. True saint.
Who needs their glasses now?
Keep going with the speech quick because Mike will probably say something shitty. I thought it would be nice to do something for the fans to make up for my absence. So Normski will ask a question and the first person to get it right gets to choose any item of clothing he is currently wearing. Alright, the question is this. How many squirrels did Daryl Dixon throw at Rick when I told him I handcuffed Merle to the rooftop? Good luck, have a great night, and I hope you're wearing boxers, Norman.
Yeah, there were like 200 people who answered that, so there's like 200 things you have to take off now.
To tell you this, I don't even know how many. Three of them! Was it three? Was there three? All right, who won?
Three is 100% correct. Take it off.
All right. Ready?
Be careful, please don't kill each other. Please. This is how the zombie apocalypse started.
Norman, just throw the hat 3 times.
Hey, don't hurt people. Fight for the hat. It's a dirty hat. Fight. So,
I really like that hat too.
Norman, this sort of brings up He's not taking anything else off.
What?
So this brings up an interesting point, which is this season is probably heavier than the other ones. And so watching you and Andy play jokes on each other, is that how you kind of keep it light because of how depressing some of the subject matter is?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we've always sort of screwed with each other, but he's kind of due. I mean, the last thing that happened, he put my motorcycle out on a boat and pushed it up to the middle of a lake with a sex doll sitting on top of it. So he's due, but yeah, you know, it gets pretty heavy. I mean, you know, we all kind of goof around on the set when we can, you know, but he's dead.
Well, Daryl doesn't usually back down, but then at the end of the season, he's basically subjugated by this guy that they've, you know, to be fair, been killing a lot of his people. They were running around just all, you know, cavalier, killing a lot of his people. But what do you think is going through Daryl's head when he's on his knees at that point?
I think, you know, that we're all gonna die. That's what's going through, you know, everyone's head, I think. I mean, we're outnumbered and it doesn't look good, you know, and it's a weird feeling to be that powerless when we've always fought to survive and all this stuff, and to just be, you know, put on our knees and not, it doesn't look like we're gonna get over that wall, you know what I mean? So it's a horrible feeling. I hated shooting all of it, you know, miserable.
And he's so sensitive too.
It sucks, it really did.
Every time you speak, 3 people get pregnant in the audience. My goodness. It's twins. I want to ask Dave Albert a question, which is, why is Negan the most threatening character that we've seen so far? Because we've seen a lot of messed up stuff on the show, but what is it specifically about Negan that you feel is such a horrible threat to the group?
You know, I think that, you know, first of all, Negan was maybe one of the best comic book villains of all time, right? So we're seeing someone who has a great history from the comic being adapted onto the screen. Negan really is the sign of the new world. You know, as Norman was saying, they thought that they could take him, they thought that they had it, they thought that they were the baddest people out there, and they run into somebody that is bigger, stronger, more organized, better equipped. I mean, they are sort of outnumbered, outgunned. There's seemingly very, very little hope for our characters to come out with, but Negan really sort of wields that power in a way that seems perfectly suited for the apocalypse.
I want to ask Denai, because Denai obviously had experience. Michonne had experience with the governor. So what is it that you think makes Negan different from the governor?
Oh yeah, the governor was small potatoes compared to this guy because he has a structure in place. He has a really deeply entrenched structure, and he doesn't have one town of Woodbury. He has outposts in various places we don't even know about yet. We know it's more than one at this point. And he has, you know, he's also extremely smart. Like, it's becoming more and more evident, you know, through the course of 616, how smart he is with how he gets Rick on his knees in many ways. And so it really is, I think the whole part of the way that, you know, like earlier in the season, we heard them say, like the other guy say, "I am Negan," and the whole idea of who is Negan. Like, that's also it's an indoctrination process which is far beyond what the governor was doing or any other villain we've met so far. So there's a whole other level of creating a system and an order where you can reign supreme as a demagogue in a way that's deeply insulated that no one else has touched before.
Michonne has had such an amazing journey since the beginning. And when we first saw her, she was very self-sufficient, very kind of walled off. And then she's really become so sensitive and open and reasonable and caring and about family too. And so like she's really kind of embraced this sort of new family unit. So why do you think that was important for her to let the walls down and become a part of the group?
Well, I mean, you know, it really was that moment. There were a couple moments, but like I think about like season 3, episode 8, where she, you know, has been so closed off. She's been very, very shady, and hasn't really shared like really core information they need to know, and she gets in that massive fight with the governor, and she realizes she needs a community, and she goes back to Rick, and at that moment she could have gone back and, you know, wandered through the woods again, but she decides, you know, I think I want to pursue my humanity, and I could go back into being, you know, a survivor of the dead alone, or I could actually continue to pursue my humanity, which really started the minute she met Andrea and decided, I'm actually gonna save this person, you know, and start that journey.
Not even close. This is a whole, I mean, the show hasn't even aired yet. We've had a little bit, 13 minutes and 16 last year, but this and what's about to happen, it's already nuts, and we haven't started the year yet.
Yeah.
You know, no, I've never, nothing close.
Because from Negan's point, it's creepy. From Negan's point of view, I mean, do you think he's a bad guy? From his point of view, this kind of snotty, arrogant group is running around killing his people.
Yeah.
But do
You are such a Negan apologist.
Well, and so am I. I like Chris a lot.
But you must actually, as the performer, you must understand him, and you must think he's making choices for good reason. He must believe he's good, right? Do you see him as a good character or a bad character?
I think in order to approach a character like Negan and to have somewhere to go, you have to believe in what you're doing, and what he is doing is essentially the same thing these guys have been doing for the last 7 years. He just happens to carry a baseball bat that he loves dearly. But yeah, I think he absolutely thinks he's right, but he's also, as we know, a bit of a showman. This world is his stage, and he owns it. And you know, you can call it cocky, but we've watched Rick and these guys kind of get cocky in the last 7 years, I think especially last year. So I think Negan coming in and flexing his Barnum and Bailey style justice on these people is kind of his way of letting them know that they were wrong, and it's time to go down a notch or 10.
What do you think? Whoa, hey, easy. He's killing people you love. Kill them all. Real quickly, Jeffrey, what do you think it is about Negan that makes so many people follow him? He obviously has
There's a lot of fear. What'd you say?
That lady says, because it's your super sexy. Listen,
That's it.
I'm throwing this out here, but I think you totally have a shot with that lady. I'm just guessing. But what do you think it is about him that's so charismatic? Like, what is it that makes all of these people follow him?
Well, I mean, I think as much charisma as Negan has, there's also a big element of fear. I think a lot of his followers follow him for fear of getting an iron to their face or worse. But you know, understand that he's also kept a lot of these people alive for a long time, and I think that there's a certain amount of respect in that with the people that follow him. But you know, Negan is just unlike any character that I've ever seen, certainly that I've ever played. And I've played some dastardly motherfuckers, and they don't hold a candle to Negan. And it is a lot to do with his charisma and kind of how he carries himself and how he sees not only himself but this world. But people follow him, I think, a lot of them because they're scared shitless of him, and they should be, as we're soon to find out.
When you're together, when you have to go out and fight. But now other people on the show are coupling up, and there's real relationships forming. So is it, you know, is a relationship in this world, is it an asset or is it a liability sometimes?
Glenn and Maggie are, they're classic. You know what I mean? That's good. You know, it's interesting. I think traditionally, if you were to look at the circumstances, you could argue that having someone is a danger. But I think what Glenn and Maggie have is they're kind of together. They're even better and they're greater. And you see that. You see the strength in Maggie. You see the strength in Glenn. You see the leaps and bounds they're willing to traverse to get back to each other, to get back to that team. And I think yeah, you could argue that one way, but personally for me, I think they're badass together.
Next question is for Seth. Hey, how's it going, Seth?
Hey, it's
welcome.
going all right. How you doing?
So Gabriel, there was a while where I thought, well, he's, you know, someone's gonna kill him or he's gonna die. Like, he won't embrace this world. He just won't embrace this world, and something seems shady about him. Whose side is he on? And in the last handful of episodes, we really saw him come around to the point where Rick says, hey, I'm gonna let you handle defenses for this place. So what happens to him, and what is it that Rick sees? Okay, it's okay to trust this guy now.
I'm not sure what Rick sees in Gabriel, aside from his willingness. He is completely willing. He's basically surrendered himself to Rick's will, you know, and it's adapt and survive or die. He's incapable of taking his own life. He tried the suicide by Walker, the suicide by Sasha, you know. Neither one of them worked out well for him, you know. So he's there. He's got to live because his survival instinct won't allow him to die. And I think he's kind of turned his will over to Rick in a sense, and you know, is a happy follower and he's willing. And I think beyond that, I'm not sure. I think, you know, Rick must see some potential in Gabriel to be you know, more of a warrior and to have, I guess, to be of more of use and service than he had been before. But I think his willingness is pretty clear and evident, you know. And I think that Rick sees that and sees that he can rely on at least this guy's going to try. He may not be as capable as the next guy, but he's definitely as willing, you know.
There's also that moment in episode 9 last year where you basically saved Judith's life. When they're standing in the middle of Alexandria and there's walkers everywhere, Father Gabriel takes Judith, and then I remember when we shot that scene, there was that moment where sort of Rick looks at him differently. This is a guy who basically is willing to put his life on the line to save Rick's child. So I think that was the beginning of that, of him sort of looking at you differently.
It was definitely a huge moment, I think, for Gabriel to stand up and to volunteer for such, you know, a dangerous thing. Because, you know, if the walkers didn't get him and something happened to Judith, then Rick was definitely going to get in that ass. So I think, you know, it was a bold choice.
This is for Cudlets. Dolphin smooth. Someone needs to make an Urban Dictionary for Abraham Fordisms. Like, there just needs to be. But who's Deanna? But watching what happened between Rosita and Sasha, first of all, I didn't expect it to work with Sasha. You're like, I know I'm dating this lady, but I put on this captain's uniform, and now I know you want it, right? Like, I don't know how that worked. What was it? First of all, what was it that he saw in Sasha that?
You're a lucky, lucky man. Look at this woman. Strong, confident, beautiful, and look at me. I think the question should be, what the hell is she thinking?
What is she thinking?
I don't know.
I will tell you, that was sweet. You know, he's a warrior, and you know.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What if I said he's strong and beautiful?
She said you're a warrior. That was
Thank
weird.
you, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
Speak into the mic.
Oh, go.
You're still beautiful.
Did you see the bobby pin fly out? Thank you. Thank you. So, did it do it again? is funny. Now I have to make sure it keeps happening.
I think it's part of my job. I'm supposed to hold it in place.
Is
I'll
it
hold it in
happening?
place.
Okay. So, what is it doing now? Okay. So Abraham is a warrior. I'll say this, and then you can say your part in it, your perspective. But I sort of see it as seeing across to him and seeing who I just was. I just came from that place of complete defense-driven behavior, where all I'm trying to do is protect myself, and all I'm trying to do is survive, and I do that by hiding behind battle, basically, in all its forms. And so I was brought out of that by Bob, and I was always brought out of that by Tyrese, but I saw myself in him, and I know where he could, I knew the potential of where he could be, because I was on the other side. So I decided to reach out and engage and connect with him and sort of lend him that hand that I was lended by Tyrese and Bob. And so it's this really beautiful circle that happened, the circle of life, if you will, because it was something that I learned from the men in my life that I had lost that allowed me to connect to him. And I saw him as, I called him my lad, my life after death, because I didn't think it would ever happen again for me as Sasha. So that is the circle. Should I make it happen again? Okay, I'm gonna leave y'all alone.
Do you agree? Do you agree with this, Mr. Cutlets?
Well, I can't agree. I agree that she felt that way. He just fell head over heels in love.
Well, you said something on Talking Dead, what I think it had to do with the fact that in the immediacy of the fall of civilization, you said, well, people just sort of pair up and you don't really think about it a whole lot, and you felt like...
Actually, with Rosita, that's exactly what happened.
You felt like you had some time now to really discover who you were at this point, and then that's why you...
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not about... and it sounds crappy, but it's not about the rest of the night. It's about the rest of his life.
We all sort of go through it together. It's my, I think that was my 16th episode. And every season we start, the premiere has a very different tone. Season 4 was at the prison and we had the big spot sequence, but we were taking the audience out to sea in this journey. Season 5 was Terminus, which was more of a big action thing where Carol went and blew everybody up. And, they were slicing throats at this horrible trough, and then last year we went for much more sort of epic scale. We found a quarry with thousands of walkers, and we kind of set our story off. So every season we purposely look for a different tone for our season premiere, and because everybody knows that how the season ended last year, and then someone's going to go. It was more of a challenge this year going into it and knowing what people are going to expect. For me, some of the most amazing moments were found not where you're going to expect them when you watch the first episode. There's some unbelievable moments and unbelievable performances that sort of come out of the fog and the haze and the post-traumatic stress of the actual moment that I think really set the stage for the entire season. So it was, when we shot the finale last year, all these guys went to some pretty insane places emotionally. And Jeffrey came in, we had 2 nights to shoot that sequence, and we shot all the angles in one direction, and then the other night we turned around and got a lot of Jeffrey's performance. But it was really because he was working another show, and he came in just 2 days. And then we'd have to do the F-bomb take, so we'd do multiple takes and then add another one in. So I thought it would be easy to come in starting where we left off, because I thought, okay, well, I know the blocking, I know where everybody's supposed to be, relatively know what's going to happen, so it should sort of be kind of natural to fall right into the rhythm of where we ended. Boy, was I wrong. I know when we were finished, it took me a couple of weeks to recover from it, and I was just sort of there whispering into people's ears and watching them do what they do so amazingly well. So, you know, I learn every day when I'm on the set, and I get to work with these amazing people, and with Scott, who makes me a better artist every day. It's pretty astounding that we get to keep doing it over and over again. I mean, by the end of the season, guys, we will have shot 99 episodes of The Walking Dead. So, if you really think about it, we've had 99 hours to tell their story. If it would have been a movie, you know, it would have been 2 hours and it would have been over. So, you know, season 8 will be our 100th episode, will be the premiere. So, it's really to these guys.
It has been amazing, even just sort of being this weird cousin Oliver off to the side, like watching it. The growth from season 1, and to see what it's turned into, to see you guys here, and to see this global phenomenon that it's become.
Before you, let me just add one thing, that the special that's on Sunday night, it's pretty amazing because we all did interviews for it, but you forget. You know, I look at footage from season 1, and we were like 10 years old, I think, when we shot the show.
Well, Chandler was, for sure.
Chandler was definitely, I may have been 13 or 14. But the retrospect, it's really interesting and fun and exciting to sort of look back. For me, I remembered everything as if it was yesterday. But being able to retrace the steps from the beginning is really a lot of fun. So the special's really, it's going to sort of remind you of why you guys fell in love with the show to begin with.
Great. Yeah, there you go. I used to think Talking Dead was therapy for Walking Dead, and then I realized I'm actually Walking Dead customer service. Like, that's what I am. So tweet at me. Lauren Cohan. Maggie is, as the last Green, has become, she's really become a leader. She's really become such a strong character, and I would so love to know how she would be dealing with the situation differently, because she was in such rough shape going into the end of last season. How do you think she would have dealt with things differently if she had been completely healthy?
Hearing 99, I'm in such rough shape right now. I'm like, you guys have all been on such a huge journey with us. And thank you for caring about our show, and for being mad when you don't know things, and for, I mean, like, I love you too, thank you. I mean, when Melissa said, what did you say? I didn't know. Everything else, I just like, I don't remember your question, Chris. I'm like, this is larger than our lives. This is larger than our show. This is like such a privilege. This is such a great.
But it's also because, you know, these people are here because you guys are so committed to what you do. You know, you guys. And I think the thing that sets the show apart from so many other shows is that you guys legitimately give a shit. Like, you care as much about this show and this fandom and this universe as these people here. Like, you're fans of the thing you're working on.
So true.
And so it's, you know, it's special to me and everyone here that you show up and they love that. I mean, you know, I don't think anyone wants you to ever feel sad, but to see that it means this much to you is like, it's a really big deal to these fans and to everyone. So, I know you guys work in a bubble, and you're in rural Georgia shooting for most of the year, and you kind of don't know what's going on in the outside world, but you know, this is the result of your passion and everything that you guys are doing. It's making this many people happy every week. So, and sometimes devastated, but it's because they care. And it's funny that you say like, yeah, get mad when you don't know about stuff. That means you guys are passionate. That's important. If people didn't care, they were like, I don't give a shit. Well, you don't want that, you know? Like, you want people to give a shit in either direction. But yeah! Like that guy in the back.
Give all your shit.
But my question was, how do you think Maggie would be handling this particular situation differently if she had been healthy and not, you know, completely about to fall over?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were pretty incapacitated because we knew somebody was going to be hurt if we rebelled and reacted. And I mean, it takes everything in anybody's power to not get up and just headbutt that guy over there. But, you know, I love you, Jeff.
I love you too.
Just kidding. Not kidding about the laugh. Yeah, how would she, I can never say how she would have handled it differently. I don't know. It was just, I think that's what's so rare about this episode and what's so rare about what this propels everyone into, because it's so unexpected, jarring, and destabilizing in a bigger way than we've ever had. I mean, the story that comes from this year is like, it's insane. Yeah, I mean, we were completely just knocked off our feet, literally, to the ground. So we will see how people deal with what they could and should and would have done as we go through.
Well, no matter what happens, and no matter who it is, and I legitimately don't know, because I honestly, I'm too bad of a liar. If you pin me down, you'd be able to, and people do pin me down. I legitimately don't know, and I won't watch until the day before. But no matter who it is, you guys, I'm sure you understand that you're a part of this family forever, and this is a significant community to be part of it. You'll never be forgotten. And I think because we have so many people on the panel, and I still want to be able to, I have a little bit of a sneak peek to show you. So I just want to take just one question from each side of the audience, because we do have to wrap it up a little bit soon. People who work here do have to go home. So